Welcome back everyone to my Let's Play of Final Fantasy V, the 4-job Fiesta for TNV Small Critter Rescue. As you can see, I spent about an hour and a half, a little over that, doing some level grinding. Just for a future dungeon. There's a time dungeon coming up, and I want to be able to get all the treasures, so this will help me make, increase my offensive ability, because your level plays into the damage calculations. Help me defeat monsters quicker, because the time still goes on while you're in battle in this dungeon. So I'm just here back in Worus. I'm going to head to the castle as well, just to talk with all the people, to get some change in dialogue now that the crystal is shattered. And most of the people are just obviously, depressed that the water is now being tainted because the crystal is no longer influencing it. And they're going to have to basically fend for themselves. Remember, the power of the crystal kept monsters away, but now they're going to have to basically rely on good old-fashioned guard power. So, crystal gone, and so is the power of water. Now I must protect the town ourselves. Yeah, we have to bring some soldiers over from the castle, I guess. Maybe we can have some of these frogs defend. We're going to see some frogs in a little bit, because when we head over to the castle, we are going to be doing the extra tower to get the Shiva summon, and one of the enemies in there are the elf frogs that I could have gotten back in the War's Tower where the water crystal was, but they're a very common enemy in the tower where Shiva is, so I just figured I'd get them there. Speaking of summons, I bought all the summons magics, not because I'll ever use them, of course, and I also bought the time magics, just to fill the inventory. So I'll get all the magics, all the songs and stuff. The only thing I won't get is the blue magic, because in order to get blue magic, you need to have a blue mage or someone with a learning ability, which is learned from blue mage, and I can't use blue mages, so. But the other thing, I'll just fill my inventory, so I got the summons and the time magic. Barunu, the soldier from Karnak, he's sleeping in the soldier's room. The soldier came out of the meteor from the north. We'll go out see that soldier. We don't know where Karnak is, but we'll learn more about it. We're gonna head talk with the king. He survived the battle with Garula, but as these guards says, he's resting now in his room. So we'll go talk with him, and one of his attendants will tell us to basically head back home. Please hear the king's request. But if you're the hero, why don't you turn Tycoon? Surely that must all be a word. And that's a good idea. We will head back there. So you were correct. King Worus, are you alright? Please hurry to Karnak. They are also using a machine to amplify the crystal's power. It appears the meteor has also fallen near Karnak. There's no time to waste. But I bet their king is just going to be just like you and say, no, we don't have to worry about it. But, like I said, it doesn't matter though. Obviously we're going to get there eventually. But it's not like, I know I was talking about in the beginning that there's a time dungeon coming up, but the plot itself isn't timed, so it doesn't matter how long it takes us to get to Karnak. It's not like if we get there right away and we skip talking with everybody and skip going to back to Tycoon, that we'll get to the crystal in time before it is destroyed. So that's why there's no need for us to hurry. We can just go out and do these little side quests and visit places. So that soldier there in the light blue, here's the soldier from Karnak, and at least he said he was by the meteorite and he got warped over here. So something must be going on in the meteorite. So we're gonna go check out the meteorite. Like I said, first we're going to check out the bonus tower outside the castle here to get the Esper Shiva that scholar just talked about. The other scholars here didn't say anything new. They talked about an ancient library to the west. It'll be a future place to go. Very important place in terms of the plot of the game. So a lot of these places, not really all that important once you do you're supposed to happen to them. Do what you're supposed to do in them. They kind of just disappear and fall off the radar. But the ancient library plays a role throughout the entire game. So let's head out to that extra tower. And we'll head down this here. North is to that dungeon where the treasures are going to have to come back later, where that Gilgamesh enemy is. Right now we're just going to head to the tower. The levels here obviously going to help us defeat this tower. But the most important thing that's going to help us defeat this tower is the addition of the Mystic Knights. We're going to see them in battle. I did keep one battle in there earlier of enemies I fought, and as you saw in that battle, enemies that took a while for us to defeat now could be pretty much one-shotted by the Mystic Knights. They swing swords. I also ended up buying an iron helmet. I forgot to buy an iron helmet for Faris, and I bought a bunch of status curing items, 20 of each. So I got like the Maiden's Kiss to remove the Toad spell, because I do my farming here in this area, and sometimes these toads, if they go fast enough, they can turn you into a toad. So antidotes, soft potions, luck mallets, all these, as you can see, all these different things. I got a few of those regal cutlasses. I said that there was a longsword that's a little bit better. Turns out that in this translation, longsword is regal cutlass, so yeah, there's no better sword to get by fighting enemies in here. But I did get a lot of swords dropped to sell for money, and that'll help fund equipment, because in the next town, Karnak, we're going to get new equipment. So this is the bread and butter of how Mystic Knights do their damage. They cast a spell on their sword. So basically we're casting Fire 1 on our swords now, and now our swords are going to have the elemental property of fire, which is good because all of these enemies here are weak against fire. And we'll be able to deal good damage. With the fire sword, Galuf and Faris can team up and take out one of the commanders. Lenna's, she has a little less strength than Galuf and Faris, so it'll take her 3 hits to take out an enemy. But we're going to take care of them, even though they're not too much of a problem, so that we can just have Shiva there. Basically all the commando's going to do is basically just hit you with their attacks, which can be annoying. Shiva, a little easier to manage. Basically what she does is she alternates between casting Ice 2 on your front row of characters and then Ice 2 on your rear row of characters. So there she is the front, and we'll just heal ourselves up. So now we know her next move is going to be an Ice 2 on TNV. So you'll make sure the TNV has at least 200 hit points to survive that attack. This is where it helps that we put the white magic as the second ability for Lenna, Galuf, and Faris. They can help with the healing if needed. So here's finally our stats for the commanders here. So yeah, knowing Shiva's attack pattern there, you should be able to survive her attacks easily because you'll be able to keep yourself healed up. This is with the commanders in there. If all 3 are around, they could all have targeted TNV and knocked him out after he got hit by Ice 2 from Shiva there. But take them all out, so we just have to worry about her now, and like I said, it's not going to be a problem because they know exactly what she's doing, so we just pound away at her with the fire swords. At the next town, we're going to get, we could hold this off just a little bit if you want, because we're going to get Fire 2 in the next town, and that's you can cast Fire 2 on your sword and do a little bit more damage, but in order to avoid having to backtrack here again, I just figured I can do it right now, because just the Fire 1 sword and those levels that I grinded, we're able to take Shiva out here, as you're about to see. And that gives us the Shiva Summon, which, and an Ice Rod. And the Shiva Summon could be actually very useful coming up, because we're going into where the Fire Crystal is, so there's going to be a lot of enemies that are going to be weak to Ice because they're Fire Elemental based. So, now I'm just showing off the Dimension Magic, the Time Magic, and the Esper Magic. Yeah, the level 1, they're bought in the store, in the Worus Magic store. All the other summons we're going to get from basically like Final Fantasy 4 that I just played, you're basically going to be tested by a summoned monster, and if you defeat them in battle, then you prove they're worthy of calling them. So, well, most of them are. Some we're going to get in a different manner, but like, you can get Soldier for, you don't have to fight her. That would be really bad. She volunteers to become a summon. Soldier being the pet dragon that saved us from when the water crystal tower sunk. So we're going to head over to the west here. We can fly back to this area here now that we have Mystic Knights. We can fight this enemy here, this Bandersnatch enemy that I wanted to avoid because they hit actually pretty hard, and they're accompanied sometimes by the bighorn enemies, which were those bull-type enemies outside of walls. And so it would really be tough if we would have ran into a bunch of bighorns mixed with Bandersnatches as just white mages. So, scratch that enemy off our bestiary list. Now that we're strong enough. And like that one maid said, who was attending the king, we should head back to Tycoon Castle. We're going to get some good equipment here. And we're going to learn a little bit more about Lenna and her past. This girl is here. Princess Lenna. He's protecting thing. This guard here is blocking off access to a treasure room down there. But we'll come get the treasure a little bit later. But we have to do a sequence trigger first, so the Chancellor awaits you. And basically talking with the Chancellor is that sequence trigger. It's going to put, basically allow a bunch of things to happen. So there's that thief lone wolf back in War's dungeon. If we were to let him out, these treasure chests here that we're about to get would have a note from him basically saying that, like, haha, I'm Lone Wolf the Thief was here and basically took the treasure. Other treasure that he takes, none of them are really, really important. Like, see right here, he gets 2 cabins. Probably the best treasure he gets is later on in a cave. There's an elemental whip, but we can't use any classes that use whips, so it wouldn't bother this party. But you can still get the 100% treasure accountability if Lone Wolf takes those chests, as long as you open the treasure chest and get the card that basically says, like, hey, I was here and Lone Wolf here took the treasure. So there's the Chancellor, Princess Lenna. I'm sorry to avoid you. Please return to the castle. There aren't very many soldiers left thanks to the monsters. Without the princess, it would never be the same again. But I have to go. Then what will happen to this kingdom? It's not just Tycoon. Something about it to happen to the entire world. And Father is still alive. Of course, the Chancellor had no idea about what happened to the king. I guess he just assumed that he's been gone for so long, something must have happened bad happen. I understand. We will protect this kingdom with our lives. I'll certainly return, Father. Until then, everyone hang in there. Anyway, why don't you stay at the castle for the night? Which is good because we can use some healing. We used up a bunch of magic, and we can use the treasure that we're about to get. Some of the treasure. The main treasure that we want to get is this healing staff, and that'll basically be the end of TNV basically being an attacker. He's going to trade his flail for a healing staff, and that healing staff can last basically like 2/3 of the game. So we have a little cutscene between Faris and Lenna. Huh? Oh, it's you, Lenna. Sister, aren't you? What are you saying? I'm your... Think before you speak, Lenna. But me, a pirate leader? Really a princess? That's not even funny. We will learn more about Lenna's sister as we explore the castle. It's going to turn out that Lenna actually had an older sister who disappeared. But your pendant. Hey, remember one of the reasons Faris let the party go was when they were attempting to steal her ship. She noticed that Princess Lenna had the same pendant that she had, so where did she get that pendant? We'll learn later on. But for now, the party is reunited. Lenna spent the night in her own room. We're going to head back to that room a little later as we explore the castle. It's a pretty big castle. There's a lot to explore, a lot of treasures to get, hidden in pots. But the main thing we want to get is, like, the lore. So now searching on the pots. Got a high potion. A little while ago, the Chancellor said he had something to give to Princess Lenna. So he went outside. And he went to where that guard was guarding that archway. So the King's hero was alive. That's good. So yeah, you don't actually see the Chancellor anywhere because he's actually back inside the castle. And you have to go. He goes into a secret passage. The Chancellor hasn't been calm ever since Princess Lenna left. I wish Princess Lenna could stay here. Yeah, we gotta save the world. So sorry. So we're back in the throne room. To the left is take us to Princess Lenna's room and the King's room. We can't go to the King's room yet because even though the King's not here. He has a guard state post outside. So there's Lenna's room. We saw that in the cutscene. And we're going to go check out the balcony where she talked with Faris. This is the King's room. We need permission to enter. Alright, well, looks like we're going to have to save the King. And just so we can get permission to go into his room. Because there's probably treasure in there. So I'm going to head out here to this little balcony here. Save us some walk-in. And we head out the other side of the balcony. And we get to the other side of the throne room. We can head up this way. This takes us up to the tower that we were in the beginning of the game. We get to see the Hiryu's nest. So, sadly we can't just ride the Hiryu up here into the nest. Be nice if we were allowed to. Yeah, we're not going to get too much more use out of the Hiryu. I mean, the Hiryu is kind of stuck where we are right now, just like how we were landlocked with the boat. All the mountains are basically blocking the Hiryu from getting around most of the world. So we're going to have to find a different way to get to Karnak. And that way was hinted at by that soldier who warped in from Karnak. So apparently the meteorite might be able to warp people to certain places. So that's something we'll definitely have to check out. As I said, first we're going to finish checking out everything here in this castle. So we did a good bit here. Now, much later on in the game, it's important that we get all this treasure now, because later on in the game, there's going to be a point where this castle won't be able to be accessed anymore, and if you don't get the treasure before that, then you're basically going to be locked out of that 100% completion. I worked many years in this castle, many years. I used to take Princess Lenna and Princess Sarissa out. And when Sarissa was still a young child, the ship she and the king were on was met by a storm. It sounded like she was tossed overboard. And I guess was declared missing. It's interesting because the course that I'm working on right now, editing in the Coast Guard, is has to deal with operating the 46-foot patrol boat. And one of the objectives that the students have to learn is how to recover a man overboard. So, you get to read the lesson on how they do it. They have a thing called an Oscar doll to simulate a casualty falling out off the boat. They throw that in the water, and then someone has to spot it and have to go through all the steps. So, pretty neat. You get a katana, a shuriken. Princess Lenna, this cane has been passed down through many generations and surely be of help. I guess that was in the treasure in the upper right there that's already opened. Here we get Gigaman's bell. The katana and the bell we can't use right now. The katana will be for the ninja class that is available after the fire crystal. And the bell is used for the Geomancer class, which is going to be our job that we're going to get after the fire crystal. But we can't use that right now, obviously, because we haven't used the fire crystal yet. But eventually, like I said, we'll keep that bell so that when one of our characters does become a Geomancer, they will have a weapon. Geomancers are basically earth magicians. We'll protect this castle while the princess is away, don't worry. They basically use the power of the terrain, so we saw them in Final Fantasy 3. Final Fantasy 6 is going to have a Moogle that dances, and he's basically like a Geomancer. And the effect of what the terrain spell does depends on where you're at. So like when you're in the ocean, you know, you'll have like a tsunami. In the forest you'll have something else, the plains you'll have something else, desert you'll have something else. So different terrains, which are determined by the backgrounds where you fight, will yield different things. And basically each terrain has basically like 3 different spells, and your level affects the calculations that determines which spell you use. So when you first start as a Geomancer, you're not going to have access to the best stuff, but as you level up, those weaker attacks will probably skip to get the better terrain attacks. So now TNV, I'm going to give him that staff. Now he's going to be a super healer. Next episode, take care, have a good one. See you around. Bye.